Welcome to the Road Dog Trucking celebration of JB Hunt's Million Mile Driver event, live from their headquarters in Lowell, Arkansas. Here's Mark Willis with the leadership team and drivers from JB Hunt.
I'm Mark Willis, and I am broadcasting live from JB Hunt's World Headquarters in Northwest Arkansas. A beautiful part of the world. Nice to see everybody here. And in case you're just now tuning into the program, JB Hunt is recognizing all of their drivers. We're talking 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million mile driver that is out there. And man, what great work. You think about the hard work and the dedication that goes into operating these big rigs on the road, to safety, understanding the rules and regulations out there. It's a very, very tough job. It is a skilled job, and that's why it requires so many great drivers with experience to be able to handle all kinds of different situations that may come up. I've got two of the great drivers with me right now. I've got Michael Lee and Robert Martinez-Roura with me, and we're going to talk about their journey. We're going to talk about what's going on with them and how they've gotten to this point with everything that's going on out there on the roadways today. And Michael, I want to welcome you to the program. It's good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
It's really nice to chat with you. And Robert, nice to see you as well.
Same here.
Okay, and one of the first questions I've got for you guys right out of the gate, who's the better driver?
The other guy.
The other guy. There you go.
The guy who got home safe.
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you guys have been with the company for a long time. And, Michael, you've got 4 million safe miles. You drive for JB Hunt's dedicated division. You've been with the company for a long time. Talk about that. I mean, you've been around for a long time. Great stuff, right?
It is great stuff. It's a great family. Everybody plays as a team. You don't get that in trucking anymore. Everybody's got to be part of the group. It doesn't work if they're not. You know, it makes the job harder.
Yeah.
When everything is flowing smooth, it's because everybody's doing their job.
Yeah, and that makes a big difference, doesn't it, Robert?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you think about all the work that goes into operating a vehicle out there. It's really incredible when you think about it.
Yeah, it's changed from when we first started, trust me.
Okay. And how has it changed since you first started?
Technology.
Okay.
We did everything with paper logs, and now everything's electric. And I don't know if when I first started driving, we didn't have power steering. You literally sat on the engine in the cab overs.
Kind of built those muscle forearms.
Yeah. We have old stories for the young guys when we trained them. So.
Okay. How do you train young people coming into the industry?
It's hard because you got to document them into what we do.
Okay.
What we do is a trade skill, like you said, but it's also a family thing. We all work together. So you got to teach them first how the fundamentals of trucking are, because they're not learning that in schools now. They're just learning to get a CDL. So we're bringing them in and we're teaching them the fundamentals of trucking, and then we're moving them on to become better truckers.
Okay, absolutely. And you're seeing a lot of success stories like that, right?
We are, yes.
And that's got to be very rewarding when you see those kind of success stories. I mean, they call up and maybe, when you see them, it's like, man, thank you for training me to getting to me to where I am today.
It's a great experience to see those guys 10 years later that are at the million-mile banquets, then the 2 million-mile banquets. I've been doing this since '86.
Okay.
So I've seen those guys make those transitions into those next levels and become trainers themselves.
Okay.
So if you do it right and you work the fundamentals, then you get a good product.
And Robert, does that mean working those fundamentals? That's one of the keys to success.
It's like anything. You have your basic fundamentals, and like you were saying, training the drivers. I see them as like my kids sometimes.
Okay.
Just kind of bring them up right and kind of give them the look that your parents give you when you do something wrong, and try and correct it. And some of them are hard-headed, but like he said, 5 years later, you see he's driver of the month, driver of the Northwest or something, and you feel a little bit that I did that.
It's good with the heart, right? Oh, absolutely. Tell folks how you got started in the industry overall. I mean, how did you get going overall?
Well, I was driving truck, loading tortillas on a little truck, and some guy drive up, and he was delivering a full truckload, and he goes, "You make a lot better money doing this, and you don't have to deal with paperwork all the time."
Okay.
So I went home, and I was going to be a police officer, and my wife goes, oh, by the way, we're going to have our first child. And I was like, okay, police officer out the door, truck driver in the door. And that's how I became a trucker.
Has any of the family members followed you in trucking?
No, my son's in the Navy and my daughter's in college.
Oh, okay, very good. Okay, very good. And those stories, Michael, that you hear from the other drivers out there about how they've gotten to certain points in their life, calling you up and saying, man, thank you for, helping, and thank you for the dedication, because you're making a difference in people's lives. That's got to be very satisfying.
It is satisfying, but it used to be the way of the industry. Back when I started, the guys who taught you were the guys that had been around 20 years.
Yeah.
When you did something stupid, they would be like, hey, by the way, don't do that again, And you go, oh, okay.
Yeah. So. What have you learned from the drivers that you have helped to train? Have they come back to you and said, I've learned about this and this and this? And
I've learned that you really have to have strong fundamentals.
Okay.
I mean, fundamentals is what sets you on a good path of trucking. Once you learn how everything works and how to control it, then you can do any job.
Okay. And when you say learning how it works, I mean, this is paying attention to your surroundings.
It's as simple as knowing how to air up a tire.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
Or how to check a brake.
Okay.
Or those things that they're not teaching in schools now. They're teaching go get a CDL. So now you got to take this person back a couple steps and go, before you move the truck, you might want to do this.
Sure. What was backing one of the things you had to teach a lot of the drivers?
Backing seems to be a struggle for a lot of people.
Okay. Why is that?
I think it overwhelms them because there's so much of the position when you're backing that you can't see.
Okay.
And it scares them.
Okay, absolutely. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with it. And backing up is something that's not natural. We don't walk backwards.
No.
So we don't drive backwards.
No, we don't.
So as soon as they start backing up, it's like...
We don't talk backwards.
Yeah, true. My wife would differ, but that's okay.
But obviously, speaking of family, Michael, your wife is here. And she's in the background right over here. And she is so proud of you. I can see that look on her face over there that she's smiling.
Well, I didn't do this on my own.
Okay.
It's a family thing.
Okay.
The times I was frustrated and said, "Are you kidding me?" She was like, "Get back out there. You know what you have to do."
So she was your motivator.
Absolutely.
That's really good. And Robert, same thing for you, right? That family was the inspiration, and that you take that inspiration and then you take that to the job itself, right? And then coming into an organization like, JB Hunt, with giving you the support you need, technology, giving you the the fundamentals out there. That inspiration from the family, you take it to the job, company takes it to the next level. It's a win-win.
It's a win. I think I went dead. Did I go dead?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a win-win. JB Hunt's my extended family.
Okay.
I mean, I would argue with my managers the next day where like everything's fine. But taking it home and the discipline I learned from driving, I instill in my children. And so they understand it's not an easy job. I would come home I'm quitting. And my wife's like, okay, babe. And then she'd let me go on that rant. And then the next day I got in the truck and I drove again.
Absolutely.
So the family, like Michael said, the family's a strong support group. If you don't have family behind you, I don't know. I don't think you can do any job.
What have you guys learned from each other over the years?
I've just met him because this is what we do when we come in from all over the country.
Okay.
But what I've understand every time I meet somebody like him is you're not alone in this job. He has the same ideal of the job as I have.
Great point.
He works on the West Coast and I work in Chicago.
Okay.
So we're on the same wave path. So that means that we're family, right?
Okay, absolutely.
We do things the same. We think the same way. We do things the same way.
Operating out of Chicago, you're on.
I'm on Intermodal.
On the Intermodal run. Yeah. Okay. Talk about life like that.
It's hard. It's a hard sell for young drivers because there's a lot going on in rail yards. There's cranes and guys moving equipment that are not paying attention, and it's kind of frustrating for guys. So it's a different kind of trucking. Okay. It's not like over the road where you're on the road for days on end, and then you deliver a load.
You have to pack your patience, don't you?
You do. You have to understand that those people around you, you're taking care of them. Every time you get 1,000,000 miles safe driving, they should be thanking you for all the lives you saved.
Yeah, that's a great point. Expand on that, Robert.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like when I first met him, I was having a meeting with one of the vice presidents, and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done with training. And he says, no, you're not. Because we need trainers like us. And I was kind of like, well, that's straight talk, and that's how it is, And like you said, you go to the rail and you got yard go drivers that are flying around with containers and chassis, and nobody's watching. So like I told my daughter when I taught her to drive, think that you're the best driver and everybody else out there is an idiot, and you'll be fine.
Right.
And that's how I train my drivers also.
Thank you both for joining me on a program for a few minutes to talk about this and mention 2 million safe miles for Robert and for Michael, 4 million safe miles out there. Michael named Trainer of the Year 9 times. And also Robert's been with J.B. Hunt for a long time because the people here become family. And something we talked about earlier. And Robert, let me start with you. An inspirational message for other drivers out there that are out there on the road. They're operating that big truck 365, 24 hours a day. What would you say to them to inspire them to keep it up?
We keep America moving. If we don't roll, America doesn't roll. And to get home safe because your family expects you to.
Okay, outstanding. So keep on going on.
Keep going, keep rolling.
Okay. Michael, what would you say to those drivers?
I'd say be kind to each other. We don't do that enough. Everybody's in a hurry. Everybody's mad if you're holding them up. Think that guy ahead of you might only have 2 months experience. He might not know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So don't get so mad. Back off. Let him get around. Then go on down the road.
Okay. Outstanding. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
For joining me on a program. And again, let's give them a nice round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Martinez and Michael Denington. Robert has 2 million safe miles under his belt, and Michael has 4 million safe miles under his belt. And it's all about family. As you've been hearing them mention, ladies and gentlemen, it's embracing that culture. It's embracing the organization where they feel like they've got that support system in place, where they're ready to go. And we're going to bring on two more drivers out here to talk about the J.B. Hunt driver celebration that's going on right now. It's great to welcome Leo Fleming, who is with us, and also Michael Lee. And gentlemen, it's good to see you both. And a question for you right out of the gate that I had for the last two drivers. Who's the better driver?
Yes.
You both pointed at each other. There you go. There you go. How fun. My goodness. Well, it's good to see the both of you, and I appreciate you joining us on the show to talk about this. And, you think about what's going on with everything out there on the roadways, that there's so much aggressive driving going on. There's so many things that you got to be able to operate under, regulations, rules, and things like that. Michael, let me start with you, because when you think about everything that you've got to do out there, what has motivated you to keep on after it in this day and age? Aggressive driving, regulation, and things like that. What motivates you?
Well, the aggressive driving, I just don't participate in all the foolishness, but the rules, I abide by the rules. Just keep it moving, abide by the rules, and do the right thing.
Okay, absolutely. So just get out there and just keep going.
Absolutely.
Okay, and stay focused, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Leo, same thing for you. I mean, when you get up in the morning and you start your day, you're ready to go, you get in that truck, you got to deal with aggressive four-wheelers, you got to deal with all different kinds of situations that are happening out there. What motivates you to be safe?
Well, it's patient. I learned that over the years driving for J.B. Hunt. You got to be patient with what you're given to work with. And as you're going down the road, you got to tell yourself, if I do this move and make this move, it's not worth it. So patient. You got to let whoever going to, make a bad decision, you got to let them make it and keep rolling. Okay, absolutely. So if you see somebody that's like acting aggressively, you say, man, I'm going to get off at this exit, let that person go further down the road. Yes.
Okay. Do you train? Are you doing any training?
Yes, I do train.
Okay.
I've trained plenty of drivers.
Okay. How do you train them? I mean, they come in, they want to do a great job. They want to get behind the wheel. They want to get going out there. How do you start with the fundamentals with the new drivers?
Well, when you get them in the truck, you try to talk to them and try to explain to them J.B. Hunt culture. A lot of drivers that come in don't understand our culture, because J.B. Hunt going to continue to preach safety. And as Michael know, they constantly own you about that.
Okay.
So they ain't going to let you forget it.
Okay.
So that's what you try to preach to them first.
Do you have a lot of drivers that say, I know what I'm doing?
Yes, a lot of them.
No, what do you do in a case like that?
Well,
if they say, leave me alone, I can do it.
and they do tell you that.
Okay.
Leo, leave me alone. I mean, I've been driving 20 years. You know, I'm like, but still, you got to understand JB Hunt culture if you plan on working here.
Okay, absolutely. And once they start to understand the culture, Michael, when you train, once you start to explain, here's what the company wants, safety is top of the list, here's what we want to do, then they start to maybe settle into a pattern, right? They're being trained the JB way, aren't they?
Absolutely. And to piggyback on Leo's comment, yes, JB Hunt, their safety culture is top shelf. Even when you call in, first thing you hear is safety first. So right off, they continuously preach safety and show you videos all the time. And as far as training the drivers, they give us a class and tell us how to deal with each one, because each one different attitudes coming from different areas, just a whole bunch of stuff going on. So they train you and have you prepared for what you're going to encounter with each driver. So.
Okay, absolutely. So if somebody maybe jumps in your truck and you're going to train them, and they say, Michael, I know this, let me alone, do that. You kind of
I've had those.
Set them on a straight path?
I had a unique case where young guy, Philadelphia, never had a driver's license, never owned a car.
Okay.
All of a sudden one day, I think I want to drive truck. And I was the lucky one that trained him. So it was a lot of concepts that he just couldn't conceive at the moment because he haven't done it. All he done was catch mass transportation.
Okay.
So here he is in the big rig all of a sudden, and that was interesting. So.
Okay, absolutely. But once you started to teach him that, and you taught him things that he needed to do as a driver, as a professional over-the-road driver, then he understood, right?
Yeah, he picked it up.
He got it.
He got it. But like I said, but being never driven, then you drive a truck. But he went to school. He went through the training.
Yeah.
When you get on like OJT, on-the-job training, it's different than in school. So you're in the real world now.
Yeah.
So he had to work with building his confidence of handling the heavy, the large equipment and the tight streets and the traffic around.
Yeah, but it's got to make you feel good, though, knowing that you've trained so many drivers that are out there today on the road practicing safety. They're doing it right.
Yes.
It's got to make you feel good, right?
Yeah, I guess I gave myself a little pat on the back. And I trained for 4 years, and then I stepped out of the training.
No, understood. But, I mean, you think about how you're shaping, the future of safety, Leo. And that's got to be an extremely satisfying thing, because JB Hunt is giving you the culture, the safety. They're developing skills for you to keep safe and stay safe and share that safety message out there on the road. So when you do training or you talk with other drivers, you talk about what JB Hunt has done as far as giving you the safety culture that you need, and that rubs off, doesn't it? On the other drivers.
Yes, and you got to do it the JB Hunt way. I mean, you can't come in and do it your way. A lot of drivers come in from different companies thinking they can do it their way, but JB Hunt way, the safety culture is so focused on that, drives you crazy. But, it's good for any driver that comes here. You got to do it the JB Hunt way.
All right. What motivates you as a driver? You've been doing this for a long time, that you've been driving for JB Hunt since 1993. And that's a long time to be out there on the road. What motivates you?
Well,
family, culture, the company culture, things like that?
Yeah. And plus, JB Hunt is a great company to work for.
Okay.
Again, they focus on the safety, and they want you to be safe. So, I met great people here, so that's another great part about JB Hunt. It's good people here that you meet and you know over the years. I've been here 28 years, and I got a chance to know a lot of people.
Okay, absolutely. And let's do this. I got a break here for a few minutes. Got to do the commercial thing, and that keeps the bills paid and the lights on. So I'm going to keep you guys on for a few more minutes. I've got a break for some commercial messages. And drivers, Leo Fleming is on with JB Hunt, 3 million miles, safe miles, driver for JB Hunt's dedicated. And also I've got Michael Lee on board as well. 4 million safe miles, drives for the JB Hunt dedicated division, been driving for JB Hunt since 1985. They're the voice of experience, ladies and gentlemen, the voice of experience. And, you're welcome to call in. They've seen all types of driving conditions. They've operated in all different types of driving weather out there, and I've got a lot more to bring up with them. So make sure you stay with us. We want you to come in and celebrate. That's why we are here. We're broadcasting live at the J.B. Hunt Million Mile Drivers Celebration. Great to be here. Great to be in Northwest Arkansas. We're talking with two of the drivers that are here that have really achieved some great results over the course of the years. Great to have Leo Fleming on board and also Michael Lee. And gentlemen, again, thank you both for joining me on the program. You know, we were talking about safety and the fact that it's an incredibly important thing to consider. You know, when you're getting out there on the road talking to truck drivers and, just understanding what's going on out there on the road. And, Michael, from your vantage point, I mean, being able to achieve 4 million safe miles, to be able to do that is quite an accomplishment. Did you know that you were about to hit that 4 million mile mark?
Didn't have a clue. It was like I was taking a nap and somebody nudged me and said, Mike, you got your 4 million miles, guy. So I didn't see it coming, but it happened. I worked towards it. I did everything I could to make it happen, and I got there.
Yeah. What was it like when you heard that, when you said, okay, man, I've got this now?
I started doing the math.
Okay. Okay.
And, for a moment I didn't know what to think, but with JB Hunt, what they did for us here with the celebration and everything, they showed me what I had done through that. Then I realized, okay, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
They went all out. They did not hold back with the celebration.
When you told your family that you achieved 4 million miles, what did they say to you?
They were like, oh, okay. Except for my wife. My wife knew the deal, but everybody else that don't really know about driving the miles, but my wife understood.
Oh, no, absolutely. And something to be very proud of. It's really incredible out there. And Leo, same question for you. Did you realize that you were coming up on that 3 million mile mark?
Yeah, I was told a couple of times, that I was coming up on it. And I just tried not to focus on it, though, because once you start looking at it, there's a little app that you can look at, see how far you go. But,
okay,
you have to close that off.
Okay, absolutely. And you got to focus on the driving.
Yes.
Inspirational messaging for the drivers that are out there listening, because we know it's a tough job. We know it's a long day, 11 hours driving cycle. For some, a 14-hour duty day, things like that. What inspirational message could you give your fellow drivers out there?
Again, to be patient and to tell yourself before you make that wrong move, it's not worth it. Sit back, relax, and just drive.
Yeah. Okay. Keep on moving.
Yes.
Okay. Michael, same thing for you. Inspirational messaging for your fellow drivers out there that are listening, that are with JB Hunt, other drivers out there. What message would you give them as an inspiration?
I would tell other drivers, give JB Hunt a shot. JB Hunt's not the perfect company, but until perfection gets here, JB Hunt is the place to go.
Okay. All right. Outstanding. Gentlemen, thank you very, very much for joining me on the program. And again, safe travels. Thank you very much for joining me in the conversation. And again, that's Leo Fleming and Michael Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael's got 4 million safe miles. Leo's got 3 million safe miles. Let's give them a great round of applause here at JB Hunt's World Headquarters on SiriusXM 146.